Take a nice deep breath. And sigh it out nice and slow and leisurely. And take a couple more of those deep, full breaths. The long, leisurely exhales. And as you're present with these breaths, feel your body resting on the ground. And then with each exhalation, soften into that earth a little bit more. And as you feel the places where your body and the ground touch, a sense of softening and sinking into those places on the exhalation. And then as you inhale, feel the natural rising up towards the sky that appears with the inhalation. As we feel the earth below, the sky above, and the breath within. And then relaxing into your natural breath. And welcome a sense of breathing in the qualities of the earth. The steadfast, grounded, enduring energy of the earth. And as you exhale, those qualities moving all through your body. Steadfast, grounded, enduring energy. And then as you feel the sky above, breathing in the qualities of spaciousness, openness, and freedom. And as you exhale, sending that spaciousness, openness, and freedom throughout your body. And these qualities, as we breathe them in and absorb them, and breathe them out, absorbing them and also sharing them out into the world, this sense of wholeness, this sense of togetherness and union. The earth, the sky, the body, in union, together. This wholeness. And sometimes as we feel that deeper connection, we also sense and feel the peace within. Earth below, sky above, breath within, peace within. And then that sound of union, that sound of Om, that vibrational energy. If you'd like, join me in one Om. And the awareness pausing at the heart center. Shanti, peace. And with this presence and connection, finding our way down onto our backs to begin the movement in our practice. So knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, and then taking a pause to feel ourselves lying on the ground, head heavy with relaxation, shoulders recline, ribs sink into the basin of the earth, that's the buttocks. And then feeling the breeze of your breath in this position, that beautiful ebb and flow deep within you. Soften the face, eyes recline, nose and cheekbones soften, back deep heart, releasing the jaw and the back of the throat relaxes and reclines. Opening of our practice with being. And then let's shift into our pranayama practice of Dirga Pranayama, the complete yogic breath, inhaling down into the abdominal pelvic region, belly rising, exhale, belly falling, empty in. Inhale, expanding to the front, sides, and back of your abdominal pelvic region. Exhale, everything gently condenses inward. Inhale, expanding every direction. Exhale, condensing inward every direction. And then Building from abdominal breathing up into Dirga Pranayama, filling in the abdominal pelvic region up through the waist, up through the ribs, all around. From the breastbone around to the side ribs, back ribs, spine. And then exhaling, softening, sinking. Belly releases. And then continue. So different images or ideas work for different people. If you want, you can imagine your torso like a glass of water, and you fill up the glass of water from the bottom up all around. And you empty the glass of water from the top down all around. Some people like the image or the sense of being a balloon and filling that balloon up and emptying the balloon. But it's amazing, how much movement is created when we drop inside and invite our bodies to do the complete yogic breath, massaging those organs and glands, getting things flowing. And then when you release back to your natural, normal breath, let your awareness still stays connected to your breathing, and maybe there's a different essence to your natural essential breath. And maybe not, just a sense of curiosity around it. As we soften into the earth and open to the sky above. Then bring the knees up to the chest with the hands behind the knees. And then just start to gently rock from side to side, tipping side to side, not very far. It's not so the body has to strain and brace. At this point, it's more so a massage on the back of the scalp, the shoulder blades of the ribs of the pelvis, starting to gently compress and weak things up. And then the next time you tip to the right, stretch the left foot and leg out to the right. And then bring it back and come back to center. When you tip to the left, stretch the right leg out to the left. So adding breath, exhale when you come into the tip and the stretch. Inhale when you come back to center. Exhale when you tip and stretch. Inhale when you come back to center. Really slow down the movement and give the body a chance to absorb the movement and for us to feel and sense how that movement weaves and threads through our body. And starting this practice of mindfully pairing movement and breath to really nourish the communication systems in the body, the resiliency of the nervous system. And then back to center. Release the hands, soles of the feet to the ground. Then, arms by the side. Inhale, the hands up towards the sky, the arms up towards the sky. Then when you exhale, take the right arm overhead and the left arm down by your side. Bent elbows is fine. And then inhale those fingertips and arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, left arm overhead, right arm down. So continue this with the inhaling up. Now, if it's uncomfortable to take that arm overhead, then just let the fingertips continue to splay up towards the sky. Now, the next time that the fingertips come on up, inhale up, pause a moment. Now we're going to take the left arm overhead, the right arm down by the side, or whatever happens. And my right arm's down by the side. I'm going to press off of my right foot, and my knees are going to tip to my left. And then I inhale, knees back to center, fingertips back up to the sky. As I exhale, right arm overhead, left arm down, I press off of the left foot. And so continue with this pattern. And when you're ready, start to draw that low belly from the navel, the waist down, in on that exhalation when you come into the tip. And press off of the foot. Check that the jaw is relaxed, face soft. So releasing any unnecessary tension in our bodies, our minds. Now as you do this, start to scoot your feet down the mat a little further each time. So we'll start to open up, the hip flexors, the groin a little more as we take the feet further and further down the mat. So as we come into the tip, the belly's in, and then start to squeeze the buttocks cheek that's lifted. So then you get a lot of nice stretch through the hip flexors, and then a nice counter support and strengthening through the buttocks and the low back. And then eventually the legs will be straight. Stretch overhead, elbows can be bent if that's more comfortable. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And then inhale, stretch through your fingers and stretch through your toes. This full body stretch. Exhale, relax. Inhale, stretch. If you want to squeeze your shoulders, squeeze your shoulders. Exhale, soften. And then another inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, soften. Then wiggle those fingers and toes again. And then we're going to rotate the feet at the ankle joints. Now if you want to bring the arms back down by the sides of the body, if that's more comfortable for you, or somewhere else. You know, it's your practice. I really want you to find your way within the practice, but really move those feet, that you feel sensation through the ankles. You might even feel your whole body moving as you're moving those feet. You'll rotate one direction and then another. If you want to add any of our other 6 movements that we do, like point and flex, or the conductor, or windshield wipering, feel free to add those in too. And then when you come back to center, just pause for a moment and maybe notice how much energy is flowing in the body now. Feel the breath. And then sweep those arms down by the side. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the ground. Now from here, we're going to bring both arms up again towards the sky and then take them overhead. And actually, if the elbows are bent and soft, this will help out a little bit of what we're doing here. And then on the exhalation, bring the fingertips back up to the sky and down by the sides. Now as you're doing this, bring your awareness not only to the breath, the inhale as the arms come up, and then the exhale as the arms go down, but also to the awareness that your shoulder blades are moving around as your arms go up overhead and come back down. And then also an awareness that your low back comes off of the ground or rises up maybe a little bit and then sinks back down to the ground. So the body's actually moving. The whole spine is being flowing with movement and also bringing in a gentle pelvic tilt. Then start to rotate the hands at the wrists and the fingers playful, and then change the direction when you go the opposite way. So when you inhale, up over, rotate one direction, and then as you come back down, love up those fingers, hands, and wrists that do such service to us, for us, with us during the day. Still sensing that almost caterpillar-like movement. And then as you come back down, pause, breathe for a moment here. Now turn your palms up and let your arms come out from your waist a little bit. That your chest opens nicely, shoulder blades kind of wiggle in towards each other a little bit. So we're going to create a deeper, fuller pelvic tilt now. So press your low belly down, your low back down towards the ground. Some people's back will flatten, some won't. And then release and rock toward your tailbone, not to your tailbone, but in that direction. And then press that low back, that low belly down again. And then release on the inhale. Belly rises up. We rock towards the tailbone. Exhale, press the low back, the low belly down. And continue with these pelvic tilts. So these pelvic tilts, for most people, are a really good aligning, deep power and strength building for the pelvic region and the back and the abdominal region. Check in that the jaw's relaxed, because sometimes it tightens up. Maybe notice how one movement releases the pelvic floor, another movement draws the pelvic floor up and in, and also toes the inner thighs. Just some really nice deep center line work here. And then release that back. Pause for a few breaths. And then bring the arms by the sides of the body. Walk your shoulder blades towards the spine. We're going to get ready for bridge pose. So if any of you, use a towel or blanket under your shoulder blades so you have more room to move in your bridge without compressing your neck. Take some time for that. If some of you might have something under your head now and want to remove it, or if some, people have neck concerns that they know they're to have something under their neck, then please doing that. So we've talked about that version where you bend at the elbows, your fingertips are up towards the sky, and then take a moment because we're going to, progressively come into this practice, doing it in a mindful manner. So just press into how I talk about those 3 points in the feet, the center of the heel, the ball joint down from the big toe, the ball joint down from the little toe that we use standing with mountain also really works well in this posture. So pressing strongly into those 3 points and lift your buttocks up a little bit. And then lower it back down. See if you want to shift your feet around a little bit. Remembering that the thighs are about fist distance apart. I know some of you like to use a block in there. And then just gradually peeling that low back off of the mat as you roll up progressively. And if you want more cues before you start, exhale, draw the low belly in, press into the 3 points, press into the elbows, and then on your inhale, slowly and progressively roll up. It's not about where we're going, it's about being in the moment, being in the practice and the posture. This whole idea of going within. I know some of you like to take the sides of the mat and curl it under. Draw your shoulder blades together and come into the practice in that manner. So continuing with a few moving bridges here. You can also think of pressing your knees towards the front of the room. You can have that imaginary block between the knees. But the most important thing in this posture is that there is no discomfort in the neck. And if you want to hold the posture, feel free to hold the posture. Keep finding those 3 points in your feet. Knees pressing towards the front of the room and then slowly roll it back down. And then pause, rest and breathe. Just notice whatever's present. And then we're going to stretch it out again this time. Stretch out arms and legs. And here again, if it's uncomfortable to have your arms up over your head, you can certainly have them down by your sides. We're going to come into this lying down crescent mood or like macaroni noodle shapes of our spine. So walk the heels to the right with the toes still up towards the sky. And here's a variation that I think I haven't taught some of you with moving the upper body. A lot of times we find we need to push off of the back of the head to move our body. And it actually does some nice neck strengthening. But it is safer for some people to bend at the elbows like some of us did in bridge with the fingertips up towards the sky, and then to press down into the elbows and lift the head up and move the head and the upper body to the side. And tip the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then the arms can either rest down by the sides of the body, or the left arm overhead, the right arm down by the side of the body, or both arms overhead. Really find the practice that serves you well. And if you're having cramping on the right side of the body, then ease out a little bit, not quite such a deep crescent moon there. And then we're going to bring in Dirga Pranayama again, the complete yogic breath, inhaling into the left lung, left ribs, left waist, left hip, left armpit, and then exhale completely emptying out of that side of the body. Inhaling, completely filling. Exhale, completely emptying. Take your time with it. And again, sensing the movements, the changes, the shifts with curiosity. And then back to center. Stretch it out again. And maybe sense some differences from side to side. Beyond good or bad, right or wrong, just sensing some changes and some shifts from the practice. And then walk the heels over to the left. And then again, if you want to press into the elbows to lift the head and shoulder blades, upper body, or if you want to press off of the head, and again, choosing an arm position, nose up towards the sky, my head tends to tip. So I'll have to kind of consciously get on the back of my head, tip my ear towards my shoulder. My eyes can be closed or open at any time in your practice. And then directing that breath now to the right lung, right side. I've got to ease out a little bit. I've got some cramping on my left side. Soft face. All the while feeling the earth below, sinking into the earth below and opening to the sky above. Feeling your breath within, maybe sensing that peace of wholeness, of connection. And then bring it back and stretch it out again in your full body stretch. You might want to hike one hip and then the other, or lift one shoulder and then the other. Get a little wiggle squiggle. Feel some of that new space and an opening in the body, and then sweep the arms back down to the sides of the body, bend the knees, soles of the feet to the floor. And then lift the right knee. And we're going to come into some knee circles. Oh, if you want the arms in T position with this, out at shoulder height and the palms turned up, slowly circling the knee. And keeping the knee bent the whole time instead of straightening it out. Because we're actually looking at, lubricating that hip joint, getting the fluid moved around and moistening that joint. And it's quite common that if you extend and straighten the leg out, you'll hear or feel a crunch or a clunk. Okay? I'm not saying that's harmful, I'm just saying our intention here is to really create a lot of mobility in that joint. And if you bring your awareness to the back of your torso, you're familiar, we do those clocks where we, move around and imagine that there's a clock on the back of our pelvis. When we circle the knees, we do clocks too. And then the knee back to center and pause. And then opposite direction. So kind of the idea that the lumbar low back area is 12, the left hip's 3 o'clock, toward the tailbone 6 o'clock, right hip 9 o'clock. And these pelvic circles are another one of those things that are really wonderful for the care and integrity of this central region of our body. And next time that comes back, pause for a moment, and then lower the foot. And receive. We're such a charging forward culture. This really teaches us how to be more responsive and give the body some resiliency. And then lift the other knee and start to circle whichever direction you'd like to. It doesn't matter which way you go first. A lot of us go the way that's just naturally happens first. Many times that's the easier way. And so then it does actually help warm up the body for the opposite way. Smooth, easy breaths. As I notice, whenever I kind of check out and I'm not in the moment, my breathing tends to get shallow, my movement starts to go like an autopilot, zoom, and so I just welcome myself back again. It's a hard practice to slow down and really feel and be and breathe and be in the moment. And then back to center and pause. And then opposite direction. And again, sense the earth beneath you as you feel your body moving around that clock. And then back to center and lighten that leg. Take a few nice full deep breaths and soften. And then bringing both knees up to the chest. Interlacing the hands, putting the hands behind the head, and really let the back of the head release into those hands. So the softening the neck, softening the throat, softening the face, and the intention is for them to continue to be softened. If you want, you can have a sense of either reaching through the tips of your elbows or gently pressing, your elbows down into the ground. If that creates strain, then that's not necessary. If that arm position doesn't work, then find another arm position. Flex your feet, which means push the soles of your feet, the heels and balls of your feet towards the front of the room. Draw your toes back. And then draw your low belly in 25% or so. Press the sole of the foot to the sky. And then bend the knee and bring it back. So what helps me a lot, because when somebody used to tell me,